Hello, friends and family. This is David, and no, I have not assumed the shape of a golden retriever, although that might be preferable to the ordinary face. Rather, what I wanted to do was build up a little bit of anticipation and eagerness, and yes, even anxiety as I'm getting ready to unmask and show you the product of 6 weeks worth of beard growing, as well as a gangly mess of hair that I had lopped off not too long ago. So here's the real me now. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. My Spanish fluency wasn't quite up enough, as well as my, I guess, eagerness to have him do it exactly the way that I wanted, where he was able, or where I asked him to cut a nice sharp angle here. Instead, it just kind of gradually curves down, which is fine. And also, I kind of wanted the neckline a tad bit higher. Thought about it for a bit, and he did. The barber, in his defense, did ask me if I wanted to do anything differently, and I just shrugged it off and decided that I'll give this a month, see how it goes, let it thicken out a bit before making any changes. Probably at this point it's better to have the neckline too low rather than too high, since one of those is a lot easier to change than the others. Something else I should talk about is I'm sorry that I didn't post last week. I just kind of got bogged down with various things, lots of new exciting opportunities, including starting a new cycle of classes, which I was pretty excited about initially, and I'm still relatively excited about. The drag is that it only meets twice a week, Monday and Wednesday night, for a total of 6 hours. Now, this includes a grammar portion, which so far has been really useful. The teacher is really kind of a character, to the point where he distracts me a little bit, and perhaps not just me. I haven't talked to anyone else in the class, but I mean, he needs to hit something with like fingers or hands or feet or what have you every like 20 seconds, it seems. He's kind of a character in and of himself, which, you know, really adds to the charm. There's a lot of people that would be rather boring to watch through an hour-and-a-half long grammar course, but he's definitely not boring. There's a portion as well which focuses a bit more on writing and oral fluency, and that's been useful too. My only complaint with both sections, and the only reason that I might potentially try to find something else, is that they haven't given me a lot to do outside of class. The content in class is really good, but that's only 6 hours a week. On the other hand, it is a lot cheaper. Like before, I think I paid for 1 month, and this actually, what I paid for this takes me all the way into May. So I'm debating right now to see whether or not I should explore some other options. They have they might form an intensive course that's at my level at any point, which I might transfer into, and it would fill up my time with more schoolwork, which might be good. Alternatively, I might just try to do a bit more things on my own, meet more conversation partners, find a private tutor to meet with for maybe 3 or 4 hours a week, get some people to read some stuff that I'll write daily. So still kind of trying to strategize a bit with that, filling things out, and I've been praying about it, just that God would, you know, guide me and show me what the best thing to do to get through this and get my grammar up to the level that it has to be is. One small victory is sometime late last week, I think even now, like a full week ago, I finally finished reading through the Orange book and even annotated everything that I was going to in the little red notebook, which I have here. And miracle of miracles, if you'd like to see, I pretty much filled up everything except for one lone page at the end. So I've got my work cut out for me. As I've been trying to read through it a few hours each day, I find that it is actually pretty manageable. I think that I'll be able to read through it every 3 days, if not every day, or every 2 days or a day and a half. So that's been good. I feel like I'm getting a much better intellectual knowledge of grammar, especially with some finer points that I just wasn't aware of before, but there is definitely a matter of wanting to put them into practice. I have been forming some really good friendships and relationships here with other people in Spain, so I've been speaking a lot more Spanish, but I feel at the same way it's not quite in the level that I want to. Like, I can hold an everyday conversation. I can even go into like a 1 or 2 minute harangue on something that, gets me really worked up and passionate about, but it's not really what I feel I'd have to, where I feel I'd have to be if I were presenting like a 15 or 20 minute talk on something academic. Special thanks to my friend Josh, who created the theme music, that 15-second exciting clip, which will either be at the end of this or at the beginning of this. As soon as I figure out how to get that working with some kind of video editing software. So expect to hear that lovely 15-second theme again and again and again, week in and week out for the rest of my time here. Other than that, things have been really good. I don't think I mentioned this last video, but I walk by a church every day when I'm on my way to or from the center, as well as basically when I'm on my way to meet people by one of the major landmarks. Usually I meet them by the cathedral, or I meet them by this statue of Columbus bowing down to Queen Isabella, which is a bit strange since neither of them were actually from Granada, but I guess, 1492 is just really, really big year for Spain. So I pass this church every day, and it's nice. I've noticed that it's open, so I'll tuck in for 10-20 minutes and just pray. And it's been good. It's been good. It's a good way to kind of break up my routine, as well as take some time to reflect on how I'm doing that day, as well as just remember all of you back at home in my prayers, as well as the people that I pray for here too. So I guess a couple of other random great tidbits. I've just really been having a good time overall. Like last Saturday, I went out with someone to this fondue restaurant, which was overlooking probably just 500 meters away from this gorgeous panoramic view of the Alhambra. So we had this really tasty cheese fondue, a couple of good glasses of wine, and we're going to have some chocolate fondue too, but neither of us had room, so that was unfortunate. Just a couple of nights ago too, I went with another conversation partner to this hotel which had this just gorgeous panoramic view of Granada. And it was foggy and it was rainy, but it was still just a really, really impressive sight. So we sat there, had some mid-tea, talked about things. It's been really, really good. I feel like my conversation partners, as I've said before, have just been doing a really, really awesome job of introducing me to all sorts of wonderful sides of the city that I'd have no hope of ever finding on my own. I went to a farmer's market. That was one thing I think I didn't mention either. Great produce, really cheap stuff, really tasty stuff. I also went to a sushi restaurant, which, as it turns out, was just a stone's throw from where I lived. And it was a bit expensive, but definitely on par with stuff that I've had in the US or had in other parts of the world. And it was kind of strange because as I was waiting on the street corner, this guy from Hungary was playing the accordion and came over. I came 10 minutes early, and I wanted to, justify listening to music, so I threw him a couple of coins, and he just kind of came up and introduced himself and said that he was just kind of making his way through Europe playing the accordion. So it was really cool. It was really cool. You just run into a lot of really fascinating and interesting people here. So I'm going to glance quickly at the notes that I'm supposed to write. So I think, as I mentioned, I'm leaning a bit more and more to committing to staying at least until May. It would be a bit easier for my housing option, just because if I can give them a hard, definitely staying until May, they'll let me stay here. And I think I've mentioned this in my last videos too, but the location's just great. 10 minutes from church, 5 minutes from my gym, 15 minutes from the center, and really just close to pretty much everything that I need, in a very nice central downtown type location. The thought is that I have to have 2 chances to take the test to prove that I'm proficient at Spanish. The first one's going to be in April, and I think within the next 2 weeks I'm going to get in touch with the powers that be to talk to them and try and get the ball rolling on that. I hope it shows that I'm saying a lot less than I normally do. I'm making a concerted effort. Yeah. And it has been 2 weeks. There's been a lot of wonderful, wonderful things that have been going on. Lots of wonderful wines imbibed and wonderful desserts enjoyed. with the workout at the gym's going great. I've kind of entered into the second 3 week phase. It's a 6 week program. And it's been good. It's been good. You know, I've been at this for, this would be week 4, and I'm feeling sore all over again. So, you know that whatever the switching up in the program is going really, really good. I've given some thought to switching to a different gym that's a bit further, 15 minutes away, but cheaper, probably by 20, 25 euros, at least from what I've heard, and also a lot bigger. I love my gym. The thing is, I find myself again and again waiting, 5 minutes for people to get off the equipment, or in that awkward position where people leave the weights on the bench press and you have no idea, are they coming back? Can you just politely take the weights off? That sort of stuff. First world problems, I guess. So I'm going to close for now. Hopefully within the coming weeks I'll be taking a few trips out of Granada. I'm kind of feeling like I have a bit more time, and I'm feeling a bit more confident with the language. There's still a lot more that I'd like to do, but while I'm here it makes sense that I should get out and see people and other things. I have a friend in Jaén who I'm hoping to visit, another friend in Córdoba, as well, and I definitely have to see Sevilla, of course, as well as see a couple of other parts of Granada itself, like the cathedral. And yes, forgive me, all my Spanish friends, but I still haven't seen the Alhambra. So as I do that, I'm going to try to take pictures. Sorry, this is already going on a bit longer than I wanted. The only downside so far within the past 2 weeks is that I lost my cell phone, which, just like shoot me in the head for that, because it's really slowed down my life a lot. It's been a lot tougher to get in touch with people, as well as tougher to stay on track of just emails and things like that. So I thought about it. I think I'm going to give it one more day, check back at the tea house where it might have been lost. Although talking to people, it seems like it's pretty likely that someone just picked it up and sent it off to Morocco, where it's going to be reprogrammed and sold on the black market. So some lucky person will get a little iPhone 3GS with a lot of fun memories in it. But I was looking last night at a couple of phones, and they seem evenly priced, and if I continue with the present plan, I feel like I could splurge for a phone that does everything I needed to do, especially if it's brand new and something I'm pretty sure I can commit to using for the next 2 years. And I'm generally pretty good at not throwing technology away, so I'm going to do a bit more poking around, and very likely buy a phone within the week, just to kind of get my life back on track. I've started reading the Spanish version of Never-Ending Story. A lot of the stuff that I've been reading for my program has been kind of older Golden Age or medieval Spanish, and I think it's good, but at the same time I feel like it builds up fluency in some way, but not in a way that might be the most pressing for me to be able to teach. So I think reading a couple of things at the modern level, as well as reading things that I know that will be a bit more relaxed and enjoyable, and that things where I don't have to read and reread every line to make sure that I'm getting the text and the subtext and the larger cultural picture and the subconscious aspects of it, etc., 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 is good for me. So I'm going to close here. 3 minutes overdue. I love and miss all of you. Thank you, Grandma, and Matthew, for faithfully keeping in touch with me. The rest of you, I have no idea. I hope that you're all still alive. I'll probably continue to poke fun at you if you don't ever get back to me. But I miss you, and I love all of you, and I keep you all in my prayers. So be well, and goodbye.